sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Sisi sote wananchi tushangilie.
Kenya kipenzi chetu Yes, Kenya inji tunayoipenda, that is one of the best songs that will give us that patriotism. You know, this is a patriotic country, and we always love our country, Kenya. Where are you following this conversation from? And we're having some of the top stories here as we're going to discuss with my good friends here. So if you are joining us for the first time, remember this is Africa 24. You're going to have this show for the next few hours as we discuss some of the top stories that happened in this country. And of course, don't forget that in this country today we saw Gachagua being attacked by the goons. You know, goons attacked Gachagua today. So we're going to discuss all those as we weigh on what happened. And personally, I was passing by and I saw what happened in the BCI. You know, today Gachagua was attacked. He was attending a funeral in Limuru, but unfortunately the goons interfered and they attacked him. And several properties were damaged. Gachagua escaped unhurt. But the loyal followers of Gachagua, the likes of Gathoni Mushomba, the likes of Senator Mebu, and even Ferdinand Wetitu, Jeremiah Kioni was present during that press. And of course, it was made to write a statement to the DCI so that they can investigate on what happened. Something fishy happened, but Gachagua could not get attacked. A lot of things happened here today, but of course we're going to discuss all those. But the top story is Gachagua attacked by the goons in Limuru. Is this the only way that the government should stop Gachagua? That is what we are asking here. Is it the only way that the government can stop Gachagua from vying for 2027? Because as you know, Gachagua has been giving a lot of speeches in the congregations, in churches, revealing some secret, also saying that the government should work as it provided the manifesto, it should do as the manifesto says. So we're going to discuss all those here in Africa 24. Where are you following this conversation from? And if you're following us for the first time, remember to always like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to always share our content with our viewers anywhere. So I'm joining by every person and also my good friends Gipsy Kona, my good friend Awosa, my good friend Captain Kip. I know you are following this conversation, but the question is, why do you think that the government is doing this to stop Gachagua? Is this the only way that the government can stop Gachagua, or if there is some other ways that the government can stop Gachagua? Or how do you think the government should stop Gachagua? Because they are saying that he is overdoing since he was impeached. But Kioni said that Ruto must go. That was Jeremiah Kioni. And he said that Ruto must go. This is something that the Kenyans have been asking. Why do we have this kind of abductions and people are losing their lives without government explaining why people are losing their lives? A lot of things are happening, but still we don't know what is the end result. Kenyans are asking, when shall Kenya be free? Kenyans asking, when shall be Kenya get to the point whereby they are free to do things? Kenya can express themselves. Kenyans can tell that this is my right to do this. But of course, Kalonzo Musyoka has been speaking about Ruto must go and how things have been rolling in this country. Today, Governor Mushomba and other leaders were in the DCI headquarters trying to launch what is happening in this country. After the goons attacked Gachagua with machetes, and the car that Gachagua was inside was damaged, in what Senator uh, Medu was saying that this is a tried assassination. This is a real assassination. This is after what Gachagua made on the weekend when he was in the church. He made a statement that really raised eyebrows for the Kenya Kwanza government. Let's listen to what Gachagua said, because this is the only statement that they think it's causing the chaos in the country. And that is why today the goons were there and they attacked and they stopped the funeral that was arranged in Limuru.
In the United States, it did not come from his heart, so there was no need to clap for him. Mimi nauliza tu, I would like to ask my brother, President William Ruto, kwa heshima kubwa sana, to take time to read the book of John, chapter 8, verse 31, which says, and you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Let him agree to listen to the people of Kenya, because it is the people of Kenya who gave him that job. The people of Kenya are his bosses. It is so sad that it has to take the intervention of the American government for us to listen to what our people are saying. Kabla Amerika waongee juzi, sisi tulikuwa tumeongea kitambo. Wakenya walikuwa wameongea, lakini hakuna mtu nasikiza. Siku kulikuwa mambo ya avocado, huyu mreu alikuja kuniona. Taxation ya watu ya makorofia. Wakulima wakiwa wamelia, they came to see me. Nikaita hiyo watu ya avocado kuwasikiza. Niliitwa nikasomewa, nikaambiwa niko na ukabila because walikuwa wametoka Murang'a. Siku tumekuwa na shida ya taxation ya watu ya biashara pale Nyamakema, pale Taveta Road, pale Nyamakema. Walikuwa nalipa container 2.5 ikaongezwa mpaka 3 million, nikawaita kuwasikiza, nikaambiwa ni ukabila. I want to ask our government, tulichaguliwa na watu, tusikize watu. Na kanisa litatusaidia sasa, kwa sababu pale kwa serikali mimi peke yake ndio nilikuwa naongea. Yule amepewa kiti yangu hawezi ongea, si mfanyikazi ya rais. Anaweza sema kitu? There's nothing he can do. Ministers are appointed. There's nothing they can do. What the president says, wanasema. Sasa what is shocking us ni ya bunge. You know, we can't believe it. Wabunge walienda wakapitisha Finance Bill 2024. Mimi nilikuwa kwa cabinet, peke yangu ndio nimepinga. Nikasema nikisikiza raia hawataki hii maneno, mheshimiwa rais, tafadhali tusiwasukume wa Kenya, watatuletea balaa. Rais akasema bana, you don't have to do what is popular, you do what is right. Nikamwambia that's okay Mr. President, but if the majority of Kenyans who elected us and we are democracy are saying it is not right, how can we insist it is right? So hakuna mtu pale anaweza ongea. Sasa wabunge finance bill wakapitisha na nyinyi wenyewe mmekataa. Saa ile lilete bala, rais akawaita pale. Wale kwanza viongozi ya Mlima Kenya ndio walipangwa pale mbele. Niyo maigetogetekia mbere. Mathekaga makoneka ria gituri. Ate muthamaki ni aria akuganya muyo tijega no ruhe marahura na niyo mahitukitie. Siku wameitwa ati wanitoe, wamepewa pesa, wengine wametishwa. Senator moja ameenda Kirerembe, ameulizwa kwa nini ulitoa Rigathi, anasema niliitwa State House nikaambiwa. Sababu ilikuwa gani? Hata hakuuliza sababu. Juzi mambo ya Adani wanapiga debe, Adani ni mtu mzuri nini. Rais kusema hii Adani ni mkora vile wazungu wamesema. Wakanaamuka wanaita rais ati Igwe. Si mliona? Igwe. Mliwaona? You know the kind of the quality of our legislators is wanting. Na hapa katika mlima ndimwire haria tutagacoka ringi tutige kora irima riri turi atongoria aria turithuraga mane tugwikira kabiru tondu twathura andu akuhangira nda ciao mane tuona uru abunge majority aria tuthurite guku kirima ni kunda ngutume ate murame
That is Gachagua in what it is said as a deal. This is the only speech that made Gachagua to get attacked today. That is what I have been listening. That is what I heard. And for real, this is something that has affected the country in terms of politics, because they're asking, why do we have this kind of things happening in this country? They are saying that it is not good for William Ruto to do this for former DP. Former DP. That is what he is saying. But I was listening to what Gathoni Mushomba he was saying during that press, and Gathoni was saying that the president should not do this to a Kenyan who was in the government, a Kenyan who was there for the Kenyans, and he was doing what Kenyans wanted. And of course, Gachagua, since he was impeached, the loyal friends, even Waititu, someone thinks that Waititu should not follow Gachagua, but Waititu is a Kikuyu, and as William Ruto is trying to defend the Kikuyus, that is the only way now he's trying to unite the Kikuyus. That is what they're saying. And of course, things are going to eat up as we wait to see what is happening. I heard those clips here, and I'm going to play them as we discuss, because the loyal followers of Gachagua, they spoke today, and they were saying that they really condemn the action of William Ruto, abductions, and also what is happening.
Once when we came here, we have introduced ourselves. We are not discussing. No. We are not speaking about the issue. We introduced ourselves as members of parliament. And even if you are not members of parliament, even if it was the general public, you just allow them in. Then, if the issues cannot be solved, whatever issue the person will not have issues we are raising, you then you can be able to advise them. But you can't stop us at the gate. Or maybe you can summarize. Maybe you can
why do we have this office there?
Or maybe you can or maybe you can ask, you have
Those are that is a bit of what happened today, and of course, things were not in a good position. The DCI director refused to allow them get in. Reason being, it is something that Kenyans, that they want to know what is really happening. Because Gachagua, since he was impeached, you remember even the Deputy President in the speech that he was giving the other day, he said that the president now should allow him to settle and do his own things. Because today there was a funeral that was arranged, but he decided to abduct some of the leaders. The MP of Limuru has been inducted, that is the former MP. And my good friend sent me that invitation, and I went there, and the DCI refused to allow them to make the statement. But at the gate of the DCI, they were there, and they gave a press statement. So, do you want to think even this Ruto and Gachagua chaos has brought together the likes of Kioni? Jeremiah Kioni is still there, and also Ferdinand Wetitu. You saw even Gathoni Wamushomba is there, and the mountain is now uniting. I think this is one thing that will make William Ruto's government to have problems, because as you see, things are happening, but you remember the president said that this country will never have those kind of things. And another speech that Gachagua gave the other day, I suspect this is also another speech that made a president to react. This is another speech for Gachagua when he was speaking.
And the churches must be allowed to regulate themselves. Sisi wengine wote tukuja kanisani, praise and worship, tusikize sermon, tutoe sadaka, turudi nyumbani. Hiyo ndio kazi yetu. Ukiwa chief, ukiwa police, wewe kuja, sikiza. Kama iko praise and worship, if you can sing, kuja uimbe. Ukimaliza utoa sadaka uende nyumbani. Si iko namna hiyo? That is the way it must be. Tafadhali tusiende hiyo barabara. Hiyo ni barabara ya kupotea, ya kujibisana na kanisa, kuingilia kanisa, kutaka kujua ati sermon itakuwa juu ya nini. These men of God, they know, they read the Bible, they will interpret the Bible every Sunday differently. Vile Mungu amewaonesha. Na tukifanya namna hiyo itakuwa sawa sawa. So, mimi sina maneno mengi. yangu tu ni kusema asante sana. I want to thank the people of Kajiado North kwa maombi yenu. Umeniombea sana. Na mimi sina stress, mimi nimerelax vizuri sana. Si ndio? Hasa hakuna mtu analaumu kwa ile shida iko Kenya. Wengine walaumiwe wajibu. Mimi ni mtu sasa ya kuangalia. Hata Uhuru Kenyatta, president wetu jana alisema yeye anaangalia TV, anasikiza radio. Hata mimi naangalia TV, nasikiza radio. Wacha wale wanaendesha wafanye nini? Lakini waheshimu viongozi wetu wa kidini. Let us see and wait and see how things are going. Kama Rigathi Gachagua ndiye alikuwa shida, ndio mlikuwa mnaweka ushuru ikuwe juu, mpunguze sasa vile ametoka. Si iko namna hiyo? Yes. Hizi barabara zote zimesimama, kama Edi alikuwa amesimamisha, simumalize. Si ndio? These things, you know Kenyans are very intelligent people. Kenyans are very intelligent people. And I think a lot of people are taking Kenyans for granted. These Kenyans know everything. Kwetu wanasema madoma amebasha. Neguo. Nimura madoma amebasha. Kule ndo mtoi. Na ndio mimi nilisema kama kiongozi. Siku tumesumbuliwa, watu wetu karibu na kasirika, naambia hapana. Wafuasi wengi wangu are business people, ni watu ya biashara, ni watu ya kutafuta mali, ni watu ya kujenga. Mimi siwezi kubali waambia watu haribu mali, kwa sababu wafuasi yangu ndio wenye kutafuta mali, ndio wenye kuchunga mali. Mimi nitakuwa mjinga. I'll be a very stupid leader to ask my supporters to destroy property which is theirs. Nilisema tu watu wanyamaze. Mukire ki na mutikarie. But if you feel you have to express yourself in song and dance. Kati huo. Ukigwa no ahi ukirwo ri. Uguthithie kirwimbo. Neguo. Hawa viongozi huyu Gogoyo kuja hapa na senator. I want to talk because ndio nimalize. This young man called Gogoyo. Mtuchungie huyu kijana.
That is Gachagua addressing some of the leaders, and also he's saying that the government should stop wasting properties, also these kind of abductions, and also anything that will bring destructions of countries, resources, and also peace of the Kenyans. You know, he was. This is something he was speaking, and recently was the government. And after the impeachment, he is still fighting hard so that he can win the heart of Kenya. And it's also seen that the Kenyans will never forget what you do to them. The likes of Kikuyus, you know, and also the likes of mountain people. They will never forget. So he is questioning William Ruto for what he did. He's saying that William Ruto, you are doing a bad thing by doing this, and you should stop. But today, I have listened to what some of the leaders speaking, and the likes of Gathoni Mushomba, they are saying that this government should go, and anytime they should go. And as Ruto is trying to divide the Kikuyus, as the Ruto is trying to divide the mountain, that is the high time that these people are going to come close and they're going to work together. But of course, I've been asking myself, how are these things happening in this country? Because they are saying that Senator Mevdu said that in the last 2 days, the security that is initiated for this guy, that is the former DP Gachagua, was withdrawn by the president. The reason unknown. And now, today, something fishy happened, whereby Gachagua was attacked, Gachagua was harmed, and of course, Gathoni Mushomba said that they will pray for the DP, former DP Gachagua. This is someone who was in the government, someone who served in the government, but now is facing those attacks and also those threats from the government. Do you think that it is the item Kenyans should raise their voice. So if you're following us for the first time, remember this is April 24. You're going to join us live and also share your ideas on what is happening in this country. Give us your ideas on what you think the president can do or the Kenyans can do to stop this kind of things that are happening, whereby abductions are happening. Now today, Gachagua was threatened and several things are happening. And they think that the speech that was made on Saturday, it is the one that is really making the government to react, whereby he said that the government should work for the people of Kenya, they should stop abductions and all of that. And I'm just here asking where do we have these kind of things happening in the country? Remember, this is a democratic country. This is not Uganda. This is Kenya, and Kenya has been democratic for a long time. So you can also join us and give the Kenyans your views and ideas about Gachagua attack by the goons in Limuru. Also, I have clips for Gachagua speaking different occasions.
Ithuĩ tũthuranaga na nĩ tũkoragwo na uge mũnene mũno ithurano-inĩ nĩ ũndũ wa ũrĩa tũigana, ũrĩa Ngai atũmbire na ũingĩ witũ. Kwenda ciana ici cia majenzi ciothe mũciĩre cioe kĩbandĩ. Nĩ mũgũciĩra cioe kĩ? Na kura nĩ continuous exercise. Harĩa obici ya IBC ya constituency arĩa matoete kura mũthiĩ na mbere na kuoya kura. Tondũ kura nĩyo ngo itũ ta nyũmba, na twaheirwo ũingĩ nĩ Ngai o ũguo burĩ agĩtũiguĩra tha. Koguo tũthiĩ na mbere na kwĩyandĩkithia atũkire. Nĩndĩrakena mũno ndaigua nĩ mũraranĩria mũkirĩte. Gũtirĩ andũ makirĩte nĩ kwanĩrĩra mataranĩrĩra, no mĩario no ĩrathiĩ na mbere na kĩ? Mũthiĩ na mbere na kwaria kwaranĩria, na ũrĩa wothe mũraria nĩ ndĩraigua, na ũrĩa mũraria nĩ ũrangenia.
That is Gachagua speaking, and he was saying that he really condemns what is happening in this country. This is another.
Katu sinohega. Tulioge katu tulioge. Turohegire muno. Na nĩtũrĩikaraga tũkĩmenyagĩrĩra. Tũgĩthura arata na ũrĩa tũrĩikaranagia nao. Na mũno rĩngĩ yuraga kĩaga gũtirĩ mũndũ tũgetĩkia. Ithuĩ tũrĩtĩkagia Ngai ũrĩa ũrĩ kĩ? Nĩtũrekunyire kĩ? Atĩ rĩngĩ yuraga kĩaga tũrĩtĩkagia Ngai ũrĩa ũrĩ kĩ? Aya angĩ tũrĩikaranagia nao ũrĩa maikarĩte. Makũra maitho tũgakũra. Na mũno twendane na tũiguanĩre tha. Tuona ũmwe witũ wĩna biacara yake ĩgĩthiĩ thĩ, angĩkorwo no mũmũnyitĩrĩre nĩgetha ĩrũgame mũkamũnyitĩrĩra. Kei twendane. No nĩndĩrakena tondũ andũ aya kawaida aya maihũire gũkanitha ũyũ othe nĩ ega mendanĩte. Tũronire kĩũndũ kĩratũmakia atĩ andũ mangĩona mbeca no mendie nginya nyina wao. Mũndũ, a senior citizen who came to see me, I will not say her name, she told me, looking at our people, they can even sell their mother if the price is right. Andũ acio othe nĩmũmoĩ, nĩmũramonire. Mwandĩke handũ ta kabuku-inĩ kana kairia. No gĩkeno gĩakwa nĩ atĩrĩrĩ, over and above ũhoro wa ũkunyanĩri nyũmba ĩno itũ ũtũraga guo nginya hĩndĩ ya twarogera wĩyathi kũrĩ andũ mendagia arĩa angĩ kwĩ mũthũngũ. No mũnyaka witũ andũ acio akunyanĩri hari andu ngiri imwe makoragwo mari eri na koguo ri hindi ciothe no tuhotanaga koguo atongoria aria maronanirie ni mendete nyumba ino itu taya twinao haha mumanyitirire na mumatirire na mahoya ithuĩ tũramenirwo nĩ kwaria ndeto cia ma no ithuĩ tũkauga twĩkĩte ũrĩa kwagĩrĩire tondũ ndeto cia ma nĩcio itũraga na nginya kĩrĩkanĩro nĩgĩtwĩrĩte the truth shall set you free.
Hey, the truth shall set you free. This is something that Gachagua is saying, that it is high time now Kenyans look for truth. But you know, Kenyans have been questioning, why do we have this kind of abduction? And of course, William Ruto and his government, since they took over, I can see Gipsy Corner. Gipsy Corner, you are my good friend. They say that whether it's a drama or not, they should not respect someone's funeral. They should respect someone's funeral. Who's being paid 400 shillings to cause harm is beyond me. Yeah, that is a Gipsy Corner. You know, goons were paid to go in that funeral, whereby they caused a lot of harm to Gachagua. Vehicles were vandalized, and also today, that is the East African time, they were planning to go for Embu, as per what Gathoni Mushomba is saying. But now they hear the goons have been sent to go to Embu. It's something that they don't think it is going to happen. But again, why are they having this kind of things? Is Kioni has said that in 2007, this is the same thing that happened in the country, and they're trying to react on what is happening in this country. And they think that Kenya should be a democratic country. Kenya should be a country that stands on its own, because, as you know, Kenya has been having a lot of problems. So I think Kenya will get back to 2007 if we don't do things as pertain. Because if we are having abductions, this kind of abduction, we never saw them during Uhuru era, Kibaki era. Abductions just came the other day. Do you think that Kenya is having the right time to do these things? As now, they are saying that we have started campaigning for 2027. The reason we are asking, why do we have this kind of things happening? Because I know it is tough in this country, but the speeches made by Gachagua and Gipsy Corner, I think that they should respect funeral. They should not do this to a person if they are having funerals. So something that we should always say, it is going to be a tough situation. But William Ruto, addressing the country, he said that we should respect this country. You remember during the press, he spoke during the State of the Nation address. The president spoke during the State of the Nation, and he said that the country is in the right place. Let's listen to what the president
Progress
said.
we have made in realizing our national values and principles of governance, and to submit to you, honorable members, the progress made in fulfilling our international obligations. Since my last address, Kenya has undergone rapid change, occasioned by the collective awakening of the people in the understanding that the state of nation depends on the work we do individually and collectively. This realization extends not only to what we choose to undertake, but also to how we go about securing careers, livelihoods, and contributing to the grand enterprise of nation building. There has never been doubt, and now there is none whatsoever, that Kenya is a land of bold ambition, with our citizens always desiring and insisting on the best possible standards, not only for themselves, but also for their families and for our nation. Consequently, our democracy has empowered citizens to ask questions and demand changes in the way their affairs are managed, driving the wheels of our nation's social, political, and economic transformation faster in the direction of excellence and prosperity. Rare are the times when leadership is ahead of the people. We are always striving to steer the machinery of state and government to keep pace with the aspirations of our citizens. We have learned through the hard as well as the more customary ways that listening is a full-time occupation of leadership, and that all questions asked by the people must be answered thoroughly and in full. We have learned never to take anything for granted and make every effort to call all our people, to carry all our people along with us in the pursuit of our transformation. The context in which I make this national address is not only significantly different from previous occasions, but it is also a singular moment with unique historical implications for us all. It is an opportunity to affirm the principles and values of which our nation stands, review the steps we have taken, the path we have chosen in our journey of national development, and reinforce the commitments we have made to one another and to our beloved nation for the sake of the present and future generations. I do not take this for granted, and with utmost respect and humility before this august assembly of the people's elected representatives, I desire to respond to the most pressing concerns that have been raised by Kenyans of all walks of life in recent months. To my understanding, the concerns and issues voiced by millions of Kenyans about the state of our nation deserve meaningful engagement, thorough understanding, and thoughtful response. There are discussions about whether leaders understand the pain, hardship, and struggles endured by countless citizens every day as they strive to make ends meet, and whether the government is doing anything about it. Similarly, many struggling Kenyans impatiently wonder, when will real money get to their pockets, and when will the jobs promised, which they deserve, become a reality? Additionally, there has been conversations about our education system, particularly the transition to the competence-based curriculum, and whether policies in this sector are working for or against Kenyans. Important questions have also been raised concerning the direction of development in relation to democracy, human rights, and fundamental freedoms, as well as the rule of law, transparency, and accountability. Another more direct question that emerges every now and then is whether public policy in this administration is in furtherance of service delivery to citizens or just in aid of political strategy. It is undeniable that for many Kenyans, times are hard and the struggle to meet their daily basic needs remains daunting. It is also true that these conditions have persisted for a number of years now, leading to much frustration and anxiety. Although we have gone a long way to mitigate some of these difficulties, much remains.
Indeed, it's sad because that is the president during the State of Nation address, and he was giving Kenyans hopes. But the change of the plans during the State of Nation address is something that affected Kenyans in one way, because Kenyans thought that things are going to work in the right way. Kenyans thought things are going to work in a certain way because they thought president is going to address, but he dropped the Adani deal, a deal that has raised a lot of concerns when it comes to the education, when it comes to the security of the country, when it comes to also governance of the country, when it comes to corruption of the country. A lot of things are targeted when it comes to this Adani. And because some of the leaders are saying that, does it mean that we had to respect what the Americans did by attacking and also arresting the Adani. The Adani was arrested, and now they are calling for investigations. They are calling for investigation of this Adani. They are calling for Adani to be investigated. But of course, you know, in what I know, this Adani has really caused a lot of problems to Kenya. But the boy who really started this Adani is now there, and he has got help from the Kenya leaders. Others are saying that if it is not for this boy, then Adani could have taken over. Because Kenyans never knew that Adani, even personally, I never knew that we have Adani in this country. But because of this boy, then Adani, the ODM and the Jubilee members are calling for proper investigation. Investigation of this Adani and why we had it in the country.
This country has come from very far. And I want to ask our colleagues in Parliament, the time to be vigilant is now. There was a time when people used to be abducted from Parliament. Moses Wetangula knows this, Oburu knows this. We had many members of Parliament being abducted from Parliament because it is a one-party state. And there are people who fought for it to make a difference, and one of them was Olaringo. Because the police could enter Parliament anytime. Shikuku and Serone were abducted from Parliament because Parliament was not independent, and people were alive at that time. Kenyatta, when he was told that you cannot remove members of Parliament from Parliament, and that is Shikuku and Serone, alisema hata kama wako kwa matako ya mama yao nitawaondoa. These are the things that Aringo was fighting against. And Moses Wetangula, I want to remind you, because a lot of people may forget. When you are representing the family, you and Okio Mbaka, when you are doing the inquiry of the murder and disappearance of Dr. Uko, it was not very easy. It wasn't. People are laughing about. These days when I see people, I think they are crazy. This country can go to the dogs easily. Easily. And now that the religious community has come, I'm very happy with the Catholic Church. Because when politicians went sleeping, it was Okulu. It was not Parliament, it was Okulu. It was the bishops who came up and say we either have a country or we are going to sacrifice. And at that time, if you remember, the police invaded All Saints Cathedral, where women were hiding in the cellars. So, I want to plead with members of Parliament and even those in government to learn from Aringo that when something is wrong, you say it is wrong. You say it is wrong. You say it is wrong. And I want to ask our people, you better swim. Listen to me. You better swim in the open sea with a fish than fight in the mud with swines. We are being made dirty by swines because we have sacrificed. We have sacrificed, and I can tell you, it's not been easy. Nabi here knows during the handshake between us and Uhuru Kenyatta, systems are very bad. This Nabi was charged in Kakamega with taking part in warlike activities. I went there and represented him and got him acquitted. I plead with you, if another government can come and take a Kenyan citizen or a foreign citizen, like they did with BCG, that is not right. We must stand by principles. We must stand by principles. If you are looking for a shortcut, I can tell you, shortcuts are not going to get us there. What we stand for is what shall make us finish the race.
That is James Orengo, and of course he has been highlighting some of the things that happen in this country. And you remember, a lot of things are happening when we started this William Ruto era, that is campaign. A lot of things are happening, and they're saying that it is high time William Ruto to be stopped in handling this kind of government. Why do you think so? Because they are saying that William Ruto has not been competent. William Ruto has not been giving Kenyans that freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom, and also the rights of the Kenyans are not handled in the right way. Do you think this is the right way? Because you hear those are ODM members who are trying to say it is not good for what is happening, because Kenyans are crying, Kenyans are complaining, Kenyans are saying that Ruto must go, because Kenya is always having bad times when it comes to this post-election violence, the likes of fights. So who do you think can be the best person to replace William Ruto? Because Kenyans thought, I'm just saying it from what I know. Kenyans thought that William Ruto will be the right person. But after he came into power, we have abductions, corruption cases increased, public resources are being squandered. A lot of things are happening. But now the question is, who is going to save Kenya? Who is going to save Kenya? That is what I can ask. Who is going to save Kenya? Who is going to save Kenya? Because things are happening and Kenyans are crying. Kenyans are asking, how can we handle this thing in the right way? How can we deal with this kind of gap? Because I'm just asking myself here, because things are happening in this country, and since Gachagua was in the power, I know my good friend Gibbs Ikona here is following the conversation, but I'm very sure that you are worrying on what is happening. You're worrying on what is happening because things are happening day and night. The question that I'm asking here is, how can we solve this situation in this country? Because leaders are complaining, leaders are saying that the government must go. But this is WEPA leader, Kalonzo Musyoka. But of course, Kalonzo has been monitoring and saying this government should go any day, any time. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. That is Kalonzo and Jeremiah Kioni. They have been saying that Ruto must go. The Adani deal has been one of the issues that have raised concerns in this country. The likes of Natembeya, the likes of James Orengo, the ODM members, they have been saying that Ruto must go. But some of the loyal members of Ruto, they have spoken about the Adani. They are saying that the president never knew that this Adani is corruption. Does it mean that there's no intelligence that does things when it comes to William Ruto handling things?
The Honorable Soro, member for South Mukirango.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to also speak to the presidential address by His Excellency the President in this House. Honorable Speaker, the President, in my view, spoke to the real issues that affect the common mwananchi. He's been in the past accused of not being able to be in touch of the things that affect the common man or the mwananchi. But from the presidential address that he gave last week, from his speech, I mean, really, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to identify the things that he said that directly touch on the common mwananchi. And the realities, despite the challenge that we have as a country, where people are naturally negative at times, and it's really a situation as we are facing right now. But I'll be very specific on the things that he spoke to, especially on the issues of health, the issues of education, and the issues of Adani, Honorable Speaker, and even the issues of the cost of living. Because it's a fact, we all live in this country, starting even from the issue of the cost of living, Honorable Speaker, that at the point the president took over power as the president of this country, the common commodities, the food prices in terms of the unga prices, which is our staple food, Honorable Speaker, was very high at that point. Not anymore, because of the measures that have been put to make sure we increase our production. That he spoke to, and it's a fact. He also spoke about the economy. He talked about the dollar. The exchange rate of the dollar against the shilling wasn't as is not as it were when he took over power. That is also a fact, Honorable Speaker. But more importantly, on a thing that touches on the common mwananchi, Honorable Speaker, that is so dear to so many of us, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of the social health scheme, Honorable Speaker. Several people who do not really understand how the social health scheme works, Honorable Speaker, and who do not want to understand, are opposing a very noble idea. A very noble idea. Because on one point, you want leaders that you elect to bring change. I have never understood. But on the other point, when they bring change, you also raise questions and say, we need to go back to the status quo. You complain that NHIF is not working. It hasn't been working. People are making unscrupulous claims. And that is on one part. Then on the other part, when there is a system that has been now, that is really been, that has been put in the market, or rather to the public, that is going to work, or that is working very well, you then again start saying, okay, let's revert back to the old system. Really, then why do you elect leaders? Because you've got to elect leaders for change. And you admit the ideas, because you can't be complaining without offering a solution. Honorable Speaker, I want to quote a message, and I want to read this message that I received yesterday from my constituent about the social health system. Honorable Speaker, I read this message from one constituent. It told me, good evening, Mheshimiwa. I wish I could get opportunity to thank His Excellency the President, but through you, the message is home. I'm from South Mogrango, Tabaka Ward, and a beneficiary of SHA. SHA has footed my dad's surgery hospital bill of 151K without paying a shilling. Honorable Speaker, these are people who are sending us messages when they had challenges to invite us for medical fundraisers. This is transformation. This is something that all of us should be celebrating, Honorable Speaker. And the President spoke in huge language, Honorable Speaker, encouraging members to also tell the members of public to register in large numbers, Honorable Speaker, because this is now what we call the universal health coverage system, Honorable Speaker, and it's really working, Honorable Speaker. So on this one, he spoke to the real issues. Then he spoke again to the issues that are bedeviling this country, the issue of femicides, the issue of the gender-based violence, where one wakes up one morning and decides to make his wife or girlfriend or a woman a punching bag, besides even killing them. Some of them torture them. And it's really shocking. I don't know whether it's a moral issue, whether it's a devil that is now getting into people's heads, where you wake up one morning and you just want to, the person that you've lived with or you've been having a relationship with, you just decide to turn them into an animal and you want to punch them and hit them. Honorable Speaker, that is really a point that His Excellency the President spoke to, and we all condemn such. And finally, Honorable Speaker, this House has been accused over the issue of that at some point, some members of Parliament celebrated Adani when the deal was being proposed, and at another point, when the President sought for the withdrawal, that we clapped and gave him a standing ovation. I want to explain to the members.
1 minute, you finish the sentence.
I want to explain to the members of the public that it is indeed true. We celebrated initially when that proposal came to us because, number one, we agree to the fact that our airport is not doing well. We agree that it's not looking very well. We do not want to borrow loans to make it. Then we do not want, Honorable Speaker, to also do what? We have no other option of making that airport, Honorable Speaker, other than PPP, Honorable Speaker. So we were very happy that there was a PPP. But at that point in time, Honorable Speaker, we did not know that Adani had an issue of corruption. It was speculations and all those kind of things. Up until that morning, when the American, when America found him culpable of some corruption matters, Honorable Speaker. And as people, are patriotic Kenyans, we were happy that now, because we are fighting corruption, that is why the members of parliament gave him a standing ovation, because he is fighting, he doesn't.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mandera South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
And he's saying that the president never knew that this deal is bad. How? Does it mean that we don't have intelligence in this country? Because how can the president just sign this kind of deals? And we are a democratic country. We have a lot of things that take place. Why did the president sign this kind of deal? Why? That is the question that I'm asking. Because personally, I don't understand. Because why do we have this kind of deals happening in this country? But now, the former DP Gachagua addressed these kind of issues. And I think this is one thing that has affected him in a political way, because the president seemed not to agree on what Gachagua is saying. He is sensing danger. Things might not add up as well, but we are wishing the country will be in the right way. Because, things have been eating up in this country since the Gachagua impeachment, and the loyal followers. I saw even Kitu Arguru was present in that press, and she said that they are not going to give up. They are not going to allow William Ruto to torment this kind of leadership. I'm just asking, where is this country heading to? Tunaenda wapi sisi kama Wakenya? Kama unafuatilia hii conversation, unaingia hapa, tunachangamua, tunaongea na kupatia platform Africa 24. And if you're following us for the first time, remember this is Africa 24 and this is the political talk. Where are you following this conversation? And why do you think the president is allowing these kind of things happening in the country? The abductions that are ongoing, and also things that are happening in this country, in contrary to what Kenyans think. But things are happening, and Kenya is heading in the wrong direction. Because if what I saw today, Gachagua was just relaxed, man. But all of a sudden, things just erupted. What if Gachagua what if we could be saying that something really bad happened to him? What will really happen to this country? Where will William Ruto go if something bad could happen to Gachagua? Let's just speculate, like Gachagua could get harmed, like kitu mbaya itokee. So, nini ingefanyika katika hii nchi? What will happen? Because in 2007, I was not there in 2007, but personally, I know things were not in the right way. 2007, things were not in the right way. And some of the members of parliament, nominated senators, they are still supporting William Ruto, despite Kenyans complaining. Kenyans have been complaining. And you also saw the Kotu Secretary General, Francis Atwoli. He is saying that we don't want when we have this term limit. He doesn't want when we have this term limit. He doesn't want Kenya having those terms, because it is the one that is causing chaos in this country. But I just asking, why is Atwoli questioning Kenyans in this way?
Kwa hivyo mambo ya Adani deals ni hiyo, sio tu nilipaswa kusema mambo ya Bangladesh. Huyo Adani alikuwa amepatiwa kandarasi ya 30 years, miaka 30, kupeleka kawi umeme nchi ya Bangladesh. Lakini kulipotokea msukosuko, the country could not afford. Kwa hivyo alikuwa katika mstari wa kukatia nchi nzima electricity. Imagine kama tungeendelea na Ketraco na Adani, alafu huku maharamia waje wapitie katika hewa yetu, anga yetu, walete kutokuwa na usalama. What will this country be? We will have sacrificed our sovereignty. Yani wale wazee wetu walipigania uhuru watakuwa wamefanya mambo bure kabisa. I'm told, I don't know how true it is, I'm told hata rais ambaye amechaguliwa Marekani, Donald Trump, alisema nimempigia Mr. Ruto nikamwambia no president can sell a national airport. Yeye mwenyewe kama ni hivyo basi ijulikane wazi kuna vitu vya kuchezea na vingine haviwezekani. Kwa hivyo tutaendelea na harakati hizi kabla ya kwenda Apostle 2027. We have work to do now. Na tutakuwa watu wanapiga domo because tunaenda kotini. Kwa mfano tutarudi 27 next week tupate direction. Hii cancellation ya William Ruto ya kusema those 2 contracts ziwe cancelled, maana yake ni nini? We are going together to expose Apostle and fellow Christian. Let us pray kwamba maovu ya Kenya hii yote yatatolewa wazi, yatawekwa wazi, kila mwizi ajulikane, ili nchi ipone vilivyo. So it is obvious, national, they call it social health assurance, social health something. Ni kama anataka kubadilisha jina. It is not enough to change the name, Mr. Ruto. You have to go back to NHIF. Kwa sababu unampatia Apostle kazi ngumu zaidi. Wagonjwa wengi hapo wamewaombea wakapona. Ni kwa sababu umeenda hospitali hakuna dawa. Wanaona fadhali kukimbia kwa Apostle Apostle at least tuombewe. Kwa sababu dawa hawapati. We have work to reclaim our country. And I can tell you, nchi hii iko na potential ya ajabu. Ili mambo iende sawa, ndugu zangu, hamwezi kuongea juu ya 2027 wakati nchi yenyewe haina IEBC. I expected William Ruto to have addressed the nation on that matter, na kusema by now he will have constituted a 9-man committee, 9-man, 9-woman committee, whose responsibility it is to get in place electoral and boundaries, independent electoral boundaries commission. Sasa hii haiwezi hata kufanya uchaguzi. Na pengine anataka tu aweke watu ambao watakuwa user friendly. If Kenya is a democracy, we shall make sure it remains a democracy. There shall be an independent electoral and boundaries commission, so that when Kioni says one touch, it will be so. Lakini haiwezekani ngojee tu waweke watu hivi user friendly. Alafu unajua tulikuja hapa na ndugu yangu Raila na mother, my sister, na my twin sister, tulikuwa tunaenda, we are to drop like a hot potato. Mafikira ya kwamba you can extend the term of office of elected leaders. Wakati wa Kenya wanaomba siku zitafika lini wote waende nyumbani. I am not a prophet like you, apostle, man of God, but I pray, and I am able to see at the current trend, all these current members of parliament constituting as they do, the 13th parliament, 95%, not less than 95% ya hawa wajiandae kwenda nyumbani. Because they have let down the country. Well, they have let down the country. They have sold their conscience. Yani tafadhali, hata nafsi mnauza. Nafsi. Mungu aturehemu wa Kenya. Mungu aturehemu wa Kristo wenzangu hapa ambao nawapenda sana, kwa kuonyesha umaarufu wa kuabudu bila kuogopa. Kwa hivyo, this is the way we have to go in order to redeem our country. It's going to be a little tight. It's not going to be easy. Lazima kila mtu ajikakamue. Kwa sababu kuona mtu anakuja anabeba milioni 10, alafu mwambie rudi nazo politely, saa ingine unafikiri ningezichukua alafu maybe we can do the first slap or the second slap. Lazima tujikakamue, tuseme no to the devil, ashame the devil, and liberate our country for good. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Umeenda wapi? Kwa hivyo ndio nasema hii serikali iliyoko mamlakani sasa hivi tunaambia wazi bila kusita kwamba we must be a country under the rule of law. It cannot be anything else. Tunajua bunge yenyewe imetekwa nyara, hiyo tunajua wazi. Tulikuwa tunaomba at least mahakama wajitahidi angalau, because that is the last line of defense. Ndio sasa tukiomba wakati kama huu, tukiomba the level of poverty, na hapa mimi naamini wote.
Kalonzo Musyoka, you were speaking there and you were saying that the Adani must be investigated in the right way. We should stop this Adani from taking over. And I've also been following the conversation in the X account for some of the Kenyans, and they really condemn what Francis Atwoli said. Atwoli is speaking something that is not making Kenyans to want what is happening, because of course, you know, Kenya has been having this problem for a long time. Kenya has been having these issues for a long time. Like, Kenya needs to get a leader who will make sure that the Kenyans have their rights, their responsibilities, their freedom. You know, Kenya is a democratic country, and we are not living the way the Ugandans are living. Since for the last 30 years, Museveni has been the government. But Kenya, we only deal with 5 years, and then we get a new leader. And this is Atwoli who was saying that the term limit should be dropped because it is the one that is causing chaos. But does it mean that these leaders just came to make this country go astray? Just asking, does it mean that they came to make this country go astray? Because people are asking, why do you have this kind of government that is not making sure Kenya is going the right way? You go to the economy, you go to the ministries of, for example, education, whereby the new university funding model has been giving Kenya sleepless nights. You know, the agriculture, Minister of Agriculture, you remember the issue of fake fertilizer. You remember the issue of health, whereby the former CS for health, that is Susan Nakumicha, and also security, interior security. Remember the Gen Z protest, whereby Kenyans, some of the sensitive ministries that we have in this country are not given that consideration. And that is why Kenyans, you know, ministries that deal with Kenyans, ministries that ensure that Kenyans are being safe, but they are not being given that consideration. So I do think this is happening. Do you really support a move that can change this country? A move that will make Kenya go ahead, a move that will make Kenya move ahead and be great again. Remember, this is Africa 24, and we are discussing some of the top stories here, and the issue of Gachagua being attacked by the goons is one of the main stories that we have in this country, and is making headlines in the social media, and also is making headlines all over. Why do we have this kind of abduction? You know, but this is William Ruto speaking the other day.
Mimi nataka niwaulize, sawa sawa, si mimi nilisimama hapa nikasema tutaunganisha Kenya iwe moja. Wale wa ukabila, wale wa chuki, wale wa migawanyiko, tutawaonyesha barabara ya kwenda nyumbani. Mimi nauliza nyinyi watu wa Kisumu, munasema tuunganishe Kenya iwe moja? Munasema tuache ukabila na kutengana na chuki na migawanyiko, na wale wote wanaoshiriki ibada ya ukabila na chuki na migawanyiko waende wapi? Waende wapi? Waende wapi? Watembee wapi? Wataenda nyumbani. Mimi nataka niwaulize, nikiongea na nyinyi hapa saa hizi, si mimi nilikubali nikasema siku moja Agwambo alinisaidia. Siku moja. Tunakubaliana? Tuko pamoja? Tuko pamoja jameni? Mimi nilisimama hapa Kondele nikasema siku moja nilisaidia Agwambo, na safari hii yeye amerudisha mkono, amenisaidia mimi. Mimi nawauliza, iko makosa hapo? Iko makosa? Iko makosa? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Mimi nikiongea na nyinyi sasa, si tulikubaliana kwamba tunaenda kumuombea ili awe kiongozi wa Afrika. Nikiongea na nyinyi saa hizi, juzi alikuwa kule Ivory Coast, jana amekuwa kule Senegal, leo ako kule Nigeria akitafuta kura ya kuwa kiongozi wa bara la Afrika. Nyinyi watu wa Kenya mtamuombea? Mtamuombea? Wale wanasema tuombea kwamba nione kwa mkono. Sawa sawa. Vile vile mimi najua hii city ya Kisumu ni city ya wavuvi. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Nimekubaliana na viongozi wa hapa, serikali ya Kenya tunaweka milioni 300 kujenga landing site hapa Asat na kule Ogal. Tuhakikishe kwamba hawa vijana wako na wanaweza kuendesha uvuvi kwa taratibu na njia ya sawasawa. Tumekubaliana vile vile Januari mwaka ujao tunawapatia milioni 800 ya mambo ya fish ports na mambo ya training na kusaidia wavuvi katika Lake Victoria hapa, kuanzia kule Busia mpaka kule Migori. Tunaelewana? Na Kabonyo, mimi niliwaambia tumeweka bilioni 1 hapa Kabonyo ili tutoe fish fingerlings, tuweke restocking ya Lake Victoria na tuweke restocking katika pond zenu, ndio tuwache kuagiza samaki kutoka China. Samaki ipatikane hapa Kisumu, imevuliwa na vijana.
That is William Ruto addressing the crowd in Kisumu. And we were saying that he is working hard so that he can make this country move ahead. But you remember the country is in a total mess. The country is in a total mess. Why? Because you remember this country has been having issues since the time of Mwai Kibaki, since the time of Uhuru Kenyatta. But now we have a new president, of which the Kenyans, what is making Kenyans to worry is they thought that the Hustler Nation is going to change this country. They thought that it is a time Kenya move ahead. But now everything is turning into a total mess. Africa 24, because where are you following us from? You're following us for the first time. Remember, this is the top stories here. And we're having a discussion as why we are asking, why do we have Gachagua being attacked by the goons? The goons who came in Limuru and attacked Gachagua. Do you support these kind of things that happen in this country? Just asking here. And if you're following us for the first time, remember, Africa 24 is your #1 station whereby you get the best news every now and then. Make sure you follow us in the social media, Africa 24, Facebook, Africa 24, Instagram, Africa 24, and most important, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is the only way you can support us. Subscribe to Africa 24 YouTube channel. We have a lot of shows there. We have every day we have news, we have top stories that happens, and also we share news every day in the Africa 24.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, sote kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. utayea